The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, a powerful and evocative symbol found in the Book of Revelation, represent profound themes that resonate throughout human history. These figures, conquest, war, famine, and death, emerge as harbingers of the end times, each riding forth on a distinct horse, embodying the calamities that befall humanity. Their significance in the Bible extends beyond mere allegory. They serve as a stark reminder of the consequences of human actions and the cyclical nature of suffering and redemption. As we delve into this topic, we aim to provide an informative exploration that encourages deeper reflection on these archetypes and their implications. The imagery of the Four Horsemen has permeated literature, art, and popular culture, often evoking a sense of foreboding and urgency. In contemporary discussions, these figures take on renewed relevance as we grapple with the realities of pestilence, war, famine, and death in our world today. The COVID-19 pandemic, ongoing conflicts, and global food insecurity highlight the persistent nature of these challenges, prompting us to consider how the lessons of the past can inform our present and future. Understanding the Four Horsemen invites us to confront uncomfortable truths about our society and the human condition. It encourages us to reflect on how these forces manifest in our lives and the world around us. As we navigate through this exploration, we will not only examine the biblical context of these figures, but also their implications for modern society. By engaging with the symbolism of the Four Horsemen, we can foster a greater awareness of the interconnectedness of these issues and inspire meaningful dialogue about how we can address them. Join us as we embark on this thought-provoking journey, seeking to uncover the layers of meaning behind the Four Horsemen and their enduring impact on our understanding of the human experience. The origins of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse are intricately woven into the fabric of the Book of Revelation, attributed to John of Patmos, who serves as both the author and the visionary. In this apocalyptic text, John is guided by an angel who reveals profound visions concerning the end times, offering a glimpse into the divine plan for humanity. The setting of John's vision is striking, beginning with a majestic throne in heaven, surrounded by a celestial court that underscores the grandeur and authority of God. This throne symbolizes divine sovereignty, establishing the context for the unfolding events that will shape the fate of the world. Central to this vision is a scroll, sealed with 7 seals, which contains the mysteries of what is to come. The scroll represents God's ultimate revelation and the unfolding of His will, and it is only through the breaking of these seals that the events of the apocalypse can be set in motion. The importance of the seals cannot be overstated, as they are directly connected to the emergence of the Four Horsemen. Each seal, when broken, unleashes a specific force upon the earth, beginning with the first seal that reveals the rider on the white horse, symbolizing conquest. The subsequent seals introduce the other horsemen, war, famine, and death, each representing a distinct calamity that will afflict humanity. This progression highlights the interconnectedness of these forces, illustrating how they contribute to the larger narrative of judgment and redemption. As the seals are broken, they serve as a catalyst for the unfolding of apocalyptic events, emphasizing the urgency and gravity of the message being conveyed. Through John's visions, we gain insight into the divine orchestration of history and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. Understanding these origins enriches our comprehension of the Four Horsemen, inviting us to reflect on their significance in both biblical prophecy and contemporary life. The first horseman of the apocalypse rides a striking white horse, a powerful image that evokes a range of interpretations and meanings. The rider is often depicted as holding a bow and wearing a crown, symbolizing conquest and victory. This imagery has led to various interpretations, with some viewing the rider as a figure of Christ, representing the spread of the gospel and divine authority. Others, however, associate this horseman with more ominous connotations, linking him to disease and pestilence, suggesting that his arrival heralds chaos and suffering rather than salvation. The duality of the white horse and its rider reflects the complexity of human experience, particularly in the context of the end times. On one hand, the rider's crown and bow can signify triumph and the establishment of a new order. On the other, they may represent the destructive forces unleashed upon the world. This ambiguity invites deeper exploration into the nature of conquest and its consequences, particularly as it relates to the suffering caused by disease and war. In contemporary discussions, the implications of pestilence are particularly relevant, as we have witnessed the devastating impact of pandemics throughout history, including the recent COVID-19 crisis. The association of the first horseman with disease serves as a reminder of humanity's vulnerability and the fragility of life. As we analyze the characteristics of the first horseman, it becomes clear that his presence is a harbinger of significant upheaval. The emergence of pestilence in the context of the end times raises critical questions about the moral and spiritual state of humanity. It challenges us to consider how our actions contribute to the suffering of others and the broader implications of our choices. Ultimately, the first horseman serves as a powerful symbol of the complexities of conquest, disease, and the human condition, urging us to reflect on our place in the unfolding narrative of the apocalypse and the lessons we can learn from it. The second horseman of the apocalypse rides a fiery red horse, a vivid symbol that embodies the chaos and destruction wrought by war. This horseman is often depicted as wielding a great sword, signifying his role in taking peace from the earth and inciting conflict among nations and individuals. The imagery of the red horse evokes feelings of urgency and foreboding, as it represents the bloodshed and violence that accompany warfare. The rider's mission is clear: to unleash strife and discord, leading humanity into a state of turmoil and suffering. In examining the historical context of war, it becomes evident that the Bible frequently addresses the theme of conflict, portraying it as both a consequence of human sin and a tool of divine judgment. Throughout Scripture, wars are depicted as manifestations of humanity's fallen nature, often resulting from greed, pride, and the desire for power. The second horseman serves as a stark reminder of the destructive potential of these impulses, illustrating how they can lead to widespread devastation. The biblical narrative often emphasizes the cyclical nature of war, where one conflict begets another, reflecting the ongoing struggle between good and evil. The characteristics of the second horseman further emphasize the themes of violence and bloodshed. His fierce demeanor and the sword he wields symbolize not only physical aggression, but also the psychological and emotional toll that war inflicts on societies. The rider's presence signifies a departure from peace, highlighting the fragility of harmony in a world rife with conflict. This symbolism resonates deeply in contemporary discussions as we continue to witness the impacts of war and violence across the globe. Ultimately, the second horseman serves as a powerful representation of the darker aspects of human nature and the consequences of unchecked aggression. By examining his symbolism and significance, we gain insight into the pervasive nature of conflict throughout history and its implications for our present and future. The fiery red horse and its rider remind us of the urgent need for peace and reconciliation in a world often overshadowed by strife. The third horseman of the apocalypse rides a black horse, a powerful symbol of famine and economic despair. The rider is often depicted holding a pair of scales, which serve as a poignant representation of the weighing and measuring of resources during times of scarcity. This imagery suggests a world where food and sustenance are in short supply, necessitating careful distribution and highlighting the dire consequences of famine. The scales also imply a sense of balance or imbalance in the availability of resources, emphasizing the harsh realities faced by those who suffer from hunger and deprivation. In the context of Revelation, the economic implications of famine are profound. The text describes a scenario where basic necessities become luxuries, leading to inflated prices and widespread suffering. The phrase, "a quart of wheat for a denarius," illustrates the extreme cost of food during this time, indicating that the average person would struggle to afford even the most basic sustenance. This stark depiction of famine serves as a warning about the fragility of economic systems and the devastating impact that scarcity can have on society. It underscores the idea that famine is not merely a natural disaster, but often a consequence of human actions, including greed, mismanagement, and inequality. The themes of wealth disparity and suffering depicted by the third horseman resonate strongly with contemporary issues. In today's world, we witness significant economic inequality, where a small percentage of the population holds a disproportionate amount of wealth, while millions face hunger and poverty. This disparity is exacerbated by systemic issues such as corruption, conflict, and climate change, which further strain resources and contribute to food insecurity. The black horse and its rider serve as a stark reminder of the consequences of neglecting the vulnerable and the urgent need for equitable solutions to address these challenges. Ultimately, the attributes and implications of the third horseman compel us to reflect on our societal values and the importance of compassion and justice. By examining the symbolism of the black horse and the scales, we are encouraged to confront the realities of famine and economic disparity, fostering a greater awareness of the interconnectedness of our global community and the responsibility we share in alleviating suffering. The fourth horseman of the apocalypse rides a pale horse, a haunting figure that embodies the inevitability of death. The rider is named Death, and his presence signifies the culmination of the chaos unleashed by the previous horseman. The pale hue of the horse evokes images of decay and mortality, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility of life. Unlike the other horsemen, the fourth rider is notably absent of weapons, which underscores a profound truth. Death itself is not merely a result of violence or conflict, but an inescapable fate that awaits all living beings. Following death is Hades, a personification of the grave or the realm of the dead. The presence of Hades, accompanying the fourth horseman, emphasizes the finality of death and the judgment that follows. This pairing suggests that death is not an end in itself, but rather a transition to a state of accountability, where souls are confronted with the consequences of their earthly actions. The imagery of Hades trailing behind death serves as a chilling reminder of the ultimate fate that awaits humanity, reinforcing the notion that life is fleeting and that our choices carry significant weight. In the broader context of judgment and the end times, the implications of the fourth horseman are profound. Death represents the culmination of divine judgment, where the consequences of sin and moral failure are laid bare. The arrival of death signals a time of reckoning where individuals must confront the reality of their lives and the impact of their decisions. This theme resonates deeply within the biblical narrative, which often emphasizes the importance of living a righteous life in anticipation of the inevitable end. The identity and role of the fourth horseman compel us to reflect on our mortality and the choices we make in our lives. By exploring the symbolism of the pale horse and the rider, named Death, we are reminded of the urgency to seek meaning and purpose in our existence. The presence of Hades, following death, serves as a call to accountability, urging us to consider the legacy we leave behind and the spiritual implications of our actions in the face of eternity. The four horsemen of the apocalypse have been interpreted through various lenses across different cultures and eras, each offering unique insights into their symbolism and significance. In Christian theology, the horsemen are often viewed as harbingers of divine judgment, representing the catastrophic events that will precede the end of the world. However, interpretations vary widely, with some cultures seeing them as allegories for human struggles and societal issues, rather than strictly prophetic figures. Historically, Each horseman has been linked to significant events that reflect their respective themes. The first horseman, often associated with conquest, has been connected to the rise and fall of empires, such as the Roman Empire's expansion and the subsequent conquests that shaped the course of history. The second horseman, representing war, can be linked to numerous conflicts, including World War I and II, where the devastation and loss of life exemplified the chaos and strife he embodies. The third horseman, symbolizing famine, resonates with historical famines, such as the Great Famine of the 14th century, which decimated populations and highlighted the fragility of food systems. Finally, the fourth horseman, death, is universally recognized as the inevitable end that follows all human endeavors, often associated with pandemics like the Black Death, which profoundly impacted society and culture. As we analyze these interpretations and historical associations, it becomes clear that the horsemen serve as powerful reminders of the cyclical nature of human existence. Their relevance in modern times is particularly striking, as we continue to grapple with issues of conflict, inequality, and mortality. The ongoing global challenges, such as climate change, economic disparity, and geopolitical tensions, echo the themes represented by the horsemen, prompting us to reflect on our collective responsibility in addressing these crises. Encouraging viewers to consider the relevance of these figures today invites a deeper exploration of how the lessons of the past can inform our present actions. The Four Horsemen challenge us to confront the darker aspects of human nature, while inspiring hope for a more just and compassionate world. By understanding their historical context and interpretations, we can better navigate the complexities of our time and strive for a future that transcends the cycles of suffering they represent. In summary, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse serve as powerful symbols within biblical prophecy, each representing profound themes that resonate throughout history and continue to impact our contemporary world. Understanding these figures, conquest, war, famine, and death, provides valuable insights into the human condition and the cyclical nature of suffering and redemption. Their significance extends beyond mere allegory. They challenge us to confront the realities of pestilence, conflict, scarcity, and mortality that persist in our society today. As we reflect on the implications of these horsemen, it becomes evident that the issues they represent are not confined to ancient texts, but are deeply relevant to our current global landscape. The ongoing struggles with pandemics, geopolitical conflicts, economic disparities, and the inevitability of death remind us of the fragility of life and the interconnectedness of our experiences. By acknowledging these challenges, we can foster a greater awareness of our collective responsibility to address the suffering in our world and strive for a more just and compassionate society. We encourage viewers to take these reflections to heart and consider how the lessons of the Four Horsemen can inform our actions and decisions in the present. Engaging with these themes invites us to think critically about our roles in shaping a future that transcends the cycles of despair they represent. If you found this exploration of the Four Horsemen insightful, we invite you to subscribe to our channel for more content that delves into biblical themes and their relevance today. Don't forget to like and share this video with others who may benefit from this discussion. Together, we can continue to explore the profound messages embedded in these ancient symbols and their implications for our lives and society. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to further exploring these important topics with you. Take care.